Hello?
Hello.
There we go, much better. How's it going?
Doing good. How are you, Barry?
I'm pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Well, first off, I want to thank you for taking out the time in your busy schedule to talk to me. It's really cool.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure, actually. Yeah. I don't know how long time Lo and I told him that we can talk, but everybody thinks it's maybe 15 minutes or something, but they did rather longer time. Should you need it?
Okay, that's fine. Well, first things first, can you introduce yourself and tell us the role in your band?
My name is Tony. I'm the lead singer and songwriter in a band called South Arctica. That's about it.
Sonata's last album, Stone's Grower Name, achieved gold status. How did you react when you learned this news?
Well, it was really something we kind of had to learn to expect already, because in Finland all our albums so far have reached that status as well. So it was not a huge surprise. A pleasant one, of course. It's nice news that the album still sells and that people like it and all that, and everything's going well. But it wasn't really that shocking anymore. I do remember when it happened the first time. That was big news because we had to wait for years and years for that to happen. But since you had it 6 times before, it was really just like, wow, yay, again.
How does the upcoming album, Pariah's Child, differ from that album?
Quite a bit, actually. I would call Stone's Grower Name a rock album, and Pariah's Child I would call melodic metal album. And I think, when you look at the album cover of Pariah's Child and compare it to the previous 3 albums, Unia and The Days of Grace and Stone's Grower Name, we even had different logo there. So this Pariah's Child is taking us back to the good old days in a way, and I would really consider Pariah's Child as our 5th album made kind of from a different perspective, because this album could have been the album we might have been able to release back in 2017. Things had been different in the band, but we were in a point of exhaustion, and we were ready to quit. It was a bad point, a breaking point for the band, and something had to change. And the Julia and the follow-up albums were the result of all that. It was an exciting adventure, but now I think we are ready to seek and continue that other path once again.
I read that this album was completely recorded and produced by the band. Was this the first time you did it, and how was the experience versus using a producer?
Well, actually, always. All the albums we have produced ourselves. We never had an outsider, really. Of course, Mikko Karmila has had some influence in the sound, a lot, a big influence, in fact, because he has mixed all the previous 7 albums. But with this album, we decided to mix it ourselves, because we now have a studio man in the band, our new bass player, Pasi, and so that was maybe the biggest change in the whole process. Also, with the fact that we actually recorded most of the stuff in one studio, everybody was there 24/5 in the studio, and spending just weekends at home and spending day in, day out, nights in studio and just working all the time, and that whole thing just made this album more of a band album, more so than we have actually never ever had in the past, because we never spent our nights in the studio. But it just was a fantastic experience.
Was there anything different about the writing process for Pariah's Child compared to the previous albums?
Not really. I had a lot of songs ready already last summer, and I played like maybe 15 demos to the guys in the band, and some of them actually ended up on the album, but I kept on writing up until the point when I didn't have time to do that anymore. We had a rehearsals in September the whole month, and I kept writing that whole time. And at the end of the month, we had everything we needed for this album. And it was fairly easy for me as a songwriter. I'm really used to writing songs under a lot of pressure. Like, I think it was Recording Night album when Tommy, our drummer, in the studio, we only had like 3 songs ready at the time, and I kept writing all the time. Every morning I had to give him something to play, and it was really stressing and a nightmare for Tommy, and let alone me. But it worked, and I'm kind of used to it. But still, this more laid back approach to the whole thing, it's it's better for your health, I believe.
What is the inspiration behind the album title Pariah's Child?
With the previous album, and then more or less with 3 previous albums, we've abandoned gradually our trademark Wolf, leading up to the point where on the previous albums, Don't Screw Our Name, we didn't have wolves at all, not in any of the songs or on the album cover or anything, and that was shocking to realize. It was more or less an accident. I didn't realize that it had happened, but it did. And now, when we're going back to that old style, all that brings back the wolf and the old logo and everything, it was no-brainer, really easy decision to make. But then again, the title, it was not that easy, and I was running against time coming up with the title, and then I just realized that, we abandoned the wolf that we now have on the color, and it was kind of a pariah for us. And wolves are, generally speaking, hated in many places, also in Finland, because people are afraid of them, and hence the pariah. And I think this album is more or less a child of that abandoned animal, as we are now going back to that old style, more or less.
Do you have a favorite song from the album?
I think the final track, Larger Than Life, is going to remain as a special song for me until my whole life, more or less. And but still, there are different kind of favorites as well. And if I should listen to one song right now from the album, I think it would be X Marks the Spot, because it's fairly humorous and a lot of fun, and it makes me smile and even laugh out loud every time I hear it. And I think that's my favorite at the moment, but that's gonna change for sure, like almost daily. But today I choose X Marks the Spot.
Does the album contain any guest vocalists or musicians?
Yeah, we have a harpist called Laura Hynninen, playing on 3 tracks, and then a gentleman called Masi Hukari is playing flute in the beginning of Half a Marathon Man. But other than that, I think we're pretty just like it's a band album. After that, well, okay, on Larger Than Life, we have orchestrations by Mikko P. Mustonen, who's also worked on us on a few of the previous albums. And he did a really fantastic job with his orchestration once again. I think it really made Larger Than Life, if you ask me.
Being that the band has been together for so long, you've seen tons of touring, but have you had a favorite tour?
Favorite tour? Well, I think the first tour when we went to Europe together with Stratovarius and Rhapsody, I think that's my favorite tour, because we were really green and innocent at the time, and we had a really short slot. We were the first band to play, and we played like maybe 20 minutes, half an hour, and it was a lot of fun. And Stratovarius still are the band why we are here. We would not have recorded the demo that scored us the recording contract had there not been Stratovarius. So being on the first long tour, 7 weeks with your favorite band ever at the time, it was an amazing experience for us young kids, and that's maybe my favorite tour.
What inspired you to become a vocalist, and how did the idea of Sonata Arctica come to be?
I think I must have been like 3 or 4 years old or something like that when a gentleman, older gentleman, I was standing there on the bus stop with my parents and playing in the snow, and this old grandfather type figure asked me that what I'm going to be when I grow up, and I had told him that I'm going to be a singer, and he asked me that, okay, so you're going to be like an opera singer, and no, I'm going to be a rock singer. So I suppose in some way I've known that since I was a kid. I never consciously took my road on that direction, and I didn't study it or anything. It just happened naturally. I've always loved singing. And back in, I think, 1994, I joined the band with Marco, our ex-bass player. He was playing guitar at the time, and that was my first band. And he later then started this band, which later became Sonata Arctica. So I was just like summoned to join the band as a singer, and I just kind of took it over, bringing my keyboards and everything in and making it my own in some weird way.
The first single, The Wolves Die Young, certainly seems as though you are straying back to the old Sonata sound. Can you tell me a little bit about what led to this decision?
The whole thing started last summer when we had to start preparing ourselves for this 15th anniversary tour, and that meant that we had to listen to all the albums once again. I had actually not listened to some of the albums in like almost 10 years, and I thought it would be pain in the ass to do that, but it was a big surprise that I actually liked what I heard, and it was fun. So consequently, I decided to give it a go and write a song in that same hard scaled Reagan in Night kind of style. And the result was The Wolves Die Young. And the whole band loved it from the first moment we actually played it together. And we decided that this is the direction we want to go with this album. It just make everybody happy, and it has so much energy and something we really needed. And, on the previous tour with Stone Score, it became obvious that the songs on that album are just too slow, kind of. They are taking down the tempo and making some of the Arctica even slightly boring live band, which we had never been before, because we had a lot of speedy songs and a lot of weird shit happening on stage. So all those things combined, it just let us going back that whole direction. But it all started with this preparation for his 15th anniversary thing we're on.
The video for the aforementioned single was released just 11 days ago and has already seen over 110,000 views. The video, as with every Sonata video, is visually stunning. How did the idea for that video come to be?
Well, we contacted Patrick Uleus. He's pretty famous, making a lot of great videos for a lot of bands, and we haven't worked with him before, and he was a really cool guy, and he of course wanted to know what the song is all about, and my idea was to, if possible, as much as possible, just to bring the story of the song also on the video instead of having just the playing video. And as the story on Wolves Die Young, the Wolves Die Young is more or less kind of a remake of Emperor's New Clothes, this old story, if you know it. It was fairly easy to use that as a reference for him, and just because everybody knows that story, at least here in Europe. And he followed it, and the result is what you see there, more or less. But I didn't really, we didn't have to do anything. We just let him do his magic, because we kind of trust him by all the stuff he's done in the past. And then the final result was fairly easy for us. We recorded our parts in I think 2 or 3 hours, the playing parts, and the rest was his work solely, and we just saw the final result easy.
Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Is there anything else you'd like to say to our readers, your fans, and the general public?
Well, yeah, Paradise Child. It's something that could be considered a lead back to that old Son of Arctica thing you might have liked 8 years ago or so. And then also, we're going to be on tour in North America in September, October, so check the dates when they come online, and hope to see you all there.
Alright, well, I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thank you, Barry. It's cool. So,
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.